Welcome to the Teacher Money Show, the podcast dedicated to helping educators like yourself navigate your unique financial challenges and unlock your financial superpowers. I'm your host, Shaun Morgan, a full-time teacher and entrepreneur, and I'm here to help teachers navigate everything related to your money. Whether you have questions about budgeting on a teacher's salary, managing student loans, increasing your income, or making the most of your benefits, I'm here to make money less confusing, more empowering, and a tool you can use to focus on what matters most. So whether you're a seasoned teacher looking for fresh insights or a new educator navigating your first paycheck, this podcast is your go-to resource for all things money related. So if you're ready to have a richer wallet, classroom, and life, let's dive in. The contents of this podcast are informational in nature and are not legal or tax advice, and neither I nor my guests are engaged in the provision of legal, tax, or any other advice. You should not act upon this information without first seeking appropriate advice from an accountant, financial planner, lawyer, or other professional. Welcome to the first episode of the Teacher Money Show. You might be wondering, what's the Teacher Money Show all about? Well, that's what we're here to talk about today. My name is Shaun Morgan, and I'm a teacher just like you. I teach full-time. I've taught in 3 different states, 4 actually now, and I've taught in 4 different schools, so I've moved around a lot. I've been in mostly middle school classrooms teaching social studies, and that's where my passion is in education, but my other passion is in money. I really feel like understanding money is one of the most empowering things that anyone can understand, and especially so for teachers. And the reason for that is for 2 reasons. The first reason is because teachers are paid criminally low, right? We know this. We get underpaid all the time. Everywhere you are, you're being underpaid. Even if you make more than other teachers, you probably live in a higher cost of living place, so you're underpaid. And when you're underpaid, one of the first things that you can do to make sure that isn't a huge detriment to your life is understanding how money works. The other reason why I'm passionate about this is because teachers can then teach their students about money. And if all of the teachers were financially literate, then all of their students would, in theory, also be financially literate. And that could have a huge impact on our society. So that's my why. I want to help teachers who are underpaid and just struggling to hold on, and I want to help the future generation. Sounds like a lot. Well, why am I doing this? Well, let me tell you my story. So I started teaching in Utah. It was my very first year teaching. I hadn't even done student teaching because student teaching is an option in Utah. You can instead do something called interning. And as an intern, you are the teacher of record in that classroom, and you have no one else in there with you, and you teach for a whole year, but you're an intern, so they pay you half salary. Yeah, it was well below minimum wage for all the hours I put in. But I was putting in my time. I figured some money was better than no money, so I just wanted to do that. And I don't like being told what to do, so I didn't want to have somebody else in there telling me what to do. Anyway, I was excited because I figured, hey, after the end of this, my income's going to double. If I'm getting paid half salary now, my income will be twice as much later. Well, I ended up moving to Colorado, which I'm sad to say for all you Coloradans is a criminally low-paying state to teachers. It is disturbing how low they pay teachers in Colorado for how expensive it is, especially. So my income that I thought was going to double went from $1,700 a month to $2,100 a month take-home pay. Now, of course, there's money going into my pension. There's money going for my health insurance. There's money going to taxes and such. But $400 increase instead of doubling was painful. And based on my income and what I told my lenders, they told me I could afford a mortgage that was with principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and mortgage insurance on top of that, $1,050 a month. So half of all of my money was going towards my housing. I was stuck. I couldn't make enough money teaching, so I figured I needed a second job. So I get a second job. It's still not quite cutting it. So then I remember, you just need a master's degree. That's why I'm not being paid enough. I need a master's degree. So I bust out a master's degree through an online program in 5 months. Not my favorite time to be alive. I do not recommend it. But I did it, and I was so proud of myself, and I missed the pay increase deadline by a month. So I had done all that work, I'd put all that money into it, and I didn't really even receive the benefits. And it's at this point where I am struggling to make ends meet that I discover entrepreneurship. I start a notary business, and that starts doing well. It starts helping me support myself. I start discovering finance and learning about that. And I start doing better. I'm still not making enough to survive in Colorado, so I have to move. I moved to Texas. It was a fantastic move. I love living in Texas. That's where I still live. I get a job there, and things are going better. I'm still doing notary work. I get a higher paying job, so I'm starting to be able to put money aside. I start investing some money, and then I lose my job. Last one hired, first one fired. It happens. But then I found a new job, and it's an online job, and I love teaching online now. I love where I'm working. So it's a happy ending for me in that regard. And I've been slowly able to take steps to increase my income. But I'm still running side hustles. I run multiple side hustles. I'm still struggling in a lot of instances because of insurance costs. And there's always something that's a struggle everywhere you go. Right now, my struggle is that my insurance premium is high, and the total out-of-pocket cost for the year is basically only helpful if I end up being hospitalized for weeks on end. So there's always going to be a struggle. But because I have good financial principles, I am able to survive. And that's what I'm here to help you with. So whether you feel like you're being robbed by taxes, your benefits that you are paying for, or your forced pension at 20 or 30% of your gross pay, or you feel like you're making less money after you get a raise, but then your insurance costs increase every single year, so you're not really making any more money. Or you have to wake up extra early or stay up extra late for a side job, or if you're taking on extra duties just to earn a few extra bucks, or you're paying to take classes to earn more money. If you're struggling with all of these things, that's what we're here to talk about. How we can really make a difference in our financial life, which will ripple throughout the rest of our life as well as educators. That's my story. And I hope that by sharing this story and by talking to each of you, we'll be able to help each other grow and understand more about our finances as teachers and how we can take control of our financial lives. So I wanted to talk about a few things that are bedrock to our understanding of personal finance. Just the very basic things that we need to know in order to take control of our finances. Everything else that we're going to talk about is adding on top of it. It's building blocks, but this is the foundation, and that is your money mindset. You must have a growth money mindset. Now, I know that we're tired of talking about fixed mindset and growth mindset. Like, we all have the same posters hanging up in our schools: fixed mindset, growth mindset, and we're probably tired of talking about it, but we know it actually matters. And if you believe that you can grow your money, if you believe that you can be good with money, if you believe that you can make what you have work, then you're going to be able to succeed. If you believe that there's no way that teachers can get ahead, then you're not going to succeed. So the first thing to realize is your mindset is important. We need to have a growth money mindset. If every teacher learned how to manage their money, low salaries would no longer be a concern. Now, of course, we still want to make more money. I'm not going to say that having a $10,000 a year salary is fine if you have a good mindset. Naturally, we need incomes to keep up with inflation and things like that. But many concerns that teachers have could be solved by learning how to manage their money, much more than a salary increase. If you receive $5,000 more next year, would that really change your life? It won't change your life unless you learn how to manage your money. Okay, so what I hope to do is help you take control of your money mindset so that way you can do two things. Make your paycheck last longer than a month and control the timing of your exit from teaching. Your paycheck needs to last longer than a month because that's the only way that you're going to be able to start stockpiling money. You need to control your exit from teaching because with the way things are going, you're either going to lose your job. I lost my job, probably because of some crazy dumb thing someone said on some online forum and the school is covering their rear end. I know a few people that have lost their job for that, which bothers me to no end. Or you could control your exit from teaching because you know you need to go, right? How many of us know that person who says, oh, I've just got 8 more years. I've just got 6 more years. I've just got 2 more years until my pension. I can hold on. I can just barely keep my fingers on until the end. We don't want those kinds of people to be our teachers. We want people who want to be here. We want people who are excited and have that fire and have that passion for teaching. And if you lose that passion for teaching, then it's time to go. Right? We want to make sure that our teachers are the best they can be for the students. So keeping control of your finances lets you control when you exit teaching. On the other hand, if you aren't controlling your finances, you might hold on to your pension and then your pension isn't enough and you keep holding on and substituting. And I don't want you to be substituting when you're 90 years old. Okay, let's avoid that. We all know that sub who really shouldn't be subbing anymore. They need to be done. So that's what I mean by controlling your exit from teaching. And if we can do these things, if you can control your money so that way you can start stockpiling and growing, and if you can control your timing from your exit from teaching, then we can really make a difference in the lives of our students, both in their education and in their financial life, because you will know the skills to teach them how to be financially successful, and you will be a role model for them to be financially successful. It will make a huge impact. So, how are we going to do this? Well, the podcast. We're going to just talk about foundational principles and ideas that are going to help you with your finances and individual coaching. The unique format that I hope to bring to this podcast is being able to talk to you. Yes, you. I don't know who you are yet, but I want to. So if you have a money question, if you are struggling with your finances, if you're doing well with your finances, but you want to know what to do with it, if you are unsure what your pension means, if you are trying to figure out how you're going to make more money, I don't care what your question is about money, come on the show and we'll do a one-on-one coaching session. Okay? Now, complete disclosure, I'm going to publish it and everyone's going to hear it, but you don't have to reveal your name. No one has to see you if you absolutely don't want to. And we can make it as anonymous as is in your best interest. I would highly recommend that you are open and honest because say a friend of yours hears this podcast. They can come talk to you and you guys can now work together. You know that there's someone else who has that financial mind that wants to work together. But once again, it's up to you. I will do everything I can to make you comfortable so you can come on this podcast and get free coaching for you. So that way you can overcome your unique challenges. And as we hear individual stories and individual challenges, together we will become better. So that's one unique thing that I hope to bring to this podcast. I'll also occasionally just jump on with basic financial principles that we all need to know just by myself. And then I'll also have guests on who are just experts in their field, ready to teach us about finances. And everything that we're going to talk about has to do with finances for teachers specifically. How many of you are tired of hearing something that has nothing to do with being a teacher? They say, oh, just go ask for a raise. Yeah. When's the last time that worked for a teacher? Or get overtime. Overtime doesn't really work. We do overtime all the time without extra pay, right? That's how it goes, it seems like. There's so many things that we can't do as teachers because of the way our profession is set up. But there's so many beautiful and powerful things that we can do with our money if we only understand them. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk specifically to teachers and how you can just nail it on your finances. So those are the three things we're going to be doing: individual coaching, learning the basics of money for teachers, and talking to experts about how you can just nail it on your finances. Okay, so now that we understand the premise of the show, we understand the mission, we understand my story, where do you get started? Well, here's the first basic principle I want you to know. The first step is to track your spending. If you don't know how much is coming in and how much is going out every single month, there is no way that you can succeed. There's no way you can improve. There's no way that you can know what you need to do to control your money. So I want you to ask these questions, 2 questions. Do I know where I spend my money each month? Do I feel in control of where my money goes? If you cannot answer those questions, that you know where you are spending your money and you feel in control, you definitely need to track your spending, which is, as far as I'm concerned, everybody. Track your spending. Track your spending. It is so powerful. So why? Why do we need to track our spending? Well, let me try and prove it to you if you aren't convinced already. Data leads to improvement. I know that data is a buzzword. You're probably tired of hearing it, but it's true. If we actually use data correctly, then it will lead to improvement. If it's what we want it to improve on or not is another story that we can talk about some other time. But if you use data, you'll lead to improvement. Pearson's law states, when performance is measured, performance improves. When performance is measured and reported back, the rate of improvement accelerates. I'm going to say that again. When performance is measured, performance improves. When performance is measured and reported back, the rate of improvement accelerates. So you are measuring your performance by writing it down. Type it in something, whatever. You are measuring how well you're doing on your spending. And then, highly recommend you share it with a partner. Share it with a friend if you don't have a partner. Share it with your mom. Share it with your dog. I don't care. Just make sure you are getting accountability. Your dog's probably not a good choice. But if you need an accountability partner, send me an email. I will happily talk to you about how well you are doing as often as you send me an email. Okay, there are 3 ways that you can track your spending. If you're like, okay, I get it. I need to track my spending. I need to know where my money's going. But how do I do it? Well, there's the old school pen and paper method where you are just writing down this much went out in this category, this much in that category, and so forth. So what I do, because I do the old school pen and paper method, that's what I like. Because when I write it down, it feels more painful than I'm spending it. So I'm less likely to spend more. Because if I'm just doing a spreadsheet, it doesn't have the same power. You English teachers understand. There's something about a book versus an ebook. It's the same principle here. So I have categories. I have food. I have major bills. I have household expenses. I have gas. Those are my main spending categories. I'm trying to break apart my household expenses category right now, just because it's kind of large. But I wouldn't recommend more than 6 categories because then you just get overwhelmed. So you just write down how much goes out of each of those categories. You just, say this expense is household, this expense is food, that's gas, etc., or whatever you choose your categories to be. And then you write down all your income. Every time you bring money in, I don't care if it's a gift from your grandma, that's money coming in. And then you calculate your income, you calculate your expenses, income minus expenses. Is it positive or is it negative? Now this is math, but this is math so easy. I think even our English teachers here can do this. No offense, English teachers. I teach English too, actually. But every time I talk to an English teacher, they say I'm not a math teacher. So math so easy, an English teacher can do it is something I think is funny. But it's simple, right? You're just adding, subtracting. That's it. And if it's positive, you're doing good. If it's negative, you need to work on it. Okay, and you look, did I spend too much on food? Did I spend too much on household? What household item? Did I spend too much on chia pets? I don't know. Whatever it is that you're spending too much money on, that's what you cut back on. How do you know if it's too much? If you are like, wow, I can't believe I spent that much money on it, that's probably the thing that's too much. Digital, you can also put it on an Excel spreadsheet. That's another easy way to track. The key there is remembering to do it. And then you can use an app such as Mint or Every Dollar. I'm not sponsored by either of them. They're just these ones. And you attach your cards or your accounts or whatever, and every time you spend money, it just says, oh, you spent money. What category was that in? And it'll throw it into those categories, and then it'll determine if you've exceeded your budget on that category or not. Okay, so that's the basics. If you do that, if you listen to nothing else on this podcast and you just track your spending and make sure that that number stays positive, you'll be okay. You won't be amazing necessarily if you don't, invest it or do anything like that, but you'll be okay. So remember, your money is mostly mindset. If you can get your mindset right, if you can believe that you can succeed, you can do it. If you track your spending, that's the best place to start. You will start having improvement. Pearson's Law will kick in. And you can choose whatever method is best for you. That's it. So, here's my invitation to you today. Start tracking your spending. Create your categories. Choose your tracking method. Record every time you spend and receive money. Keep in mind, this is not making a budget. I don't want you to predict how much you're going to spend on each category. I don't care. Neither should you. Because if you predict, I'm going to spend $400 on food this month, and then you spend $1,200 on food, you're going to be like, oh, this is terrible. I'm such a terrible budgeter. Oh no, I don't want to do this ever again. And that's not good. Okay, we don't want to give up because we do our budget incorrectly. Tracking your spending is the first step to having a successful budget. Budgeting is not the first step. It's just like going on a diet. Now, diet is a word that nobody likes to hear, and that's because usually you try it and then you fail. Okay? But counting your calories, that works. People who count their calories tend to lose weight. People who go on a diet tend to not, because counting your calories is not viewing it through this restrictive lens of you have to do this, this, and this. It's just, oh, I've eaten this many calories today. I should probably stop. I spent this much money this month. I should probably stop. It's the same principle. So before you have a plan of what you're going to do in place, you need to know what you're doing right now. And that's the first step, is tracking your spending. All right, there we go. We have it, your invitation. Start tracking your spending. Create your categories, choose your tracking method, record every time you spend and receive money. And my other invitation to you is come on the podcast. Let's have a coaching session. I would love to talk to you. And remember, you are already rich as an educator. Your wallet just needs to catch up. If you'd like to come on the podcast for coaching, to share an expert opinion, or just to talk about a topic you think is relevant, I'd love to talk to you. Just fill out the form at teachermoneyshow.com/guest. I look forward to talking with you.